It's officially Halloween Horror Nights news season, as haunted houses are already under construction at both Universal Orlando and Universal Studios Hollywood. With permits filed for 5 mazes so far in Orlando and work started on 4 in Hollywood, speculation is rampant for what properties we may see this year. Let's dig into what house locations are starting work and what they could be based on in today's news update. While dates for Halloween Horror Nights 31 have not yet been announced, work on the haunted houses has already begun. In Orlando, we have seen 5 permits submitted to the City of Orlando website, along with several notice of commencements with the Orange County Comptroller. Permits describe interior work for 2 soundstage locations, the 2 sprung tents, and the parade building. There are reports that plywood for the mazes has already been brought into some of these locations, so Universal is not wasting any time. The soundstage permits are for Stage 24A and B, which housed HHN icons Captured and Revenge of the Tooth Fairy during last year's event. Sprung Tent 1 was home to Puppet Theater, and Sprung Tent 2 was home to Wicked Growth. And the parade building, Building 79 in the permits, was home to Beetlejuice. While the permits themselves are light on details, describing the work as interior alteration, some of the notice of commencements do list contractors that have been hired. The soundstage notices list Fake Productions LLC as the contractor. They've worked on HHN houses for years, developing scenic elements. Most recently, they were responsible for installs at last year's Beetlejuice house. We are still awaiting more permits for the remaining houses, but there are still some unknowns for 2 locations that have been utilized in recent years. Ongoing construction for the replacement of Shrek 4D may mean that house location will be out of commission for this year's event. Even though a large portion of the building is expected to be allocated for HHN house use in the future, when the rumored Minions VillainCon attraction opens, probably in early 2023, they may not be able to utilize that space while construction is happening this year. Another unknown is related to the MIB tent, which is located between Fear Factor Live and Men in Black Alien Attack. Originally, an expansion for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter was expected to be happening this year, but recent permits show that project has been canceled. If it had gone on as planned, some believe the MIB tent spot was going to be utilized for construction trailers and equipment staging. With that project no longer active, it's possible that house location may be back in play. However, with planning already having taken place before they knew they could use it, they may already be locked in to alternative house locations for HHN 31. And what would these alternative house locations be? Whether they need a different location for 1 or 2 houses is still unknown, but one rumor points to Fast and Furious Supercharged as an option for one of the new house spots. According to the rumor, not only would a section of the attraction's massive queue be utilized for a new house, but so would the ride's actual ride path. Since it's a trackless experience, guests would literally be walking the ride's route in a new haunted house. If this rumor is true, the ride will probably have to go seasonal sometime this summer to allow for the house installation. At Universal Studios Hollywood, house construction is already visible for 2 main locations: the Mummy Queue, which is where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was located last year, and Curious George Tent 1, where the Haunting of Hill House was last year. The Curious George location seems to be getting some sort of barn-like facade. Prep work has started on the Parisian Courtyard area, where Bride of Frankenstein Lives was located last year, as well as inside of Soundstage 29, where The Exorcist was. Rumors and speculation has kicked into high gear now that work is actually starting on houses for both coasts. While Universal has not yet announced any of the new houses for HHN 31, that hasn't stopped the community from throwing their guesses into the ring. Some of the more popular guesses include a house based on another Netflix property, such as the new season of Stranger Things or last year's Fear Street trilogy. The company has worked with the event in the past with multiple houses for Stranger Things and last year's Haunting of Hill House. Another frontrunner appears to be Jordan Peele's Nope. The new horror sci-fi film hits theaters this summer, and with Peele's Us having been made into a haunted house for both coasts back in 2019, it's certainly a possibility that his new film could be considered as well. Many are expecting another house based on the Universal classic monsters, which has become somewhat of a trend in recent years. The classic Mummy film from 1932 is a frontrunner at this time. After Revenge of the Mummy's large refurbishment at Universal Studios Florida, which is supposed to end this summer, many have Imhotep on the brain. Other speculation includes the new Scream sequel, Gremlins, The Last of Us video game series, and strangely enough, something featuring The Weeknd. It's not clear if The Weeknd would be getting his own house or would be providing music for a new show like The Lagoon Show, but his name has come up on everyone's speculation list in recent weeks. Original houses have also been speculated on, including one based on scary tales, another based on the cryptozoological legend of the Chupacabra, and one featuring the unused icon Nathaniel Crow, or something having to do with scarecrows that may tie into that barn facade being constructed in Hollywood. Horror Night Nightmares, known for their infamous speculation maps, just released version 1 for this year's event. The maps for Orlando and Hollywood confirm many of the popular rumors, but keep in mind, these maps tend to change as we get closer to the event. While permits and visible construction progress are things we can confirm, none of the rumored or speculated house concepts have been confirmed by the company at this time, so take these ideas with a grain of salt. We'll be keeping you updated on all news and rumors for HHN 31 as it happens.